And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to another episode of This Freakin' Show, the weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. I am your host, Travis D, and with me, as always,
Awkward Colin.
And Geek Cast Joe.
And this episode of This Freakin' Show is brought to you by Fire Pit Bar and Grill of Peatone. If you're looking for a down-home country restaurant that has great burgers, cold beer, tremendous atmosphere, and live music almost every weekend, head on down to Fire Pit Bar and Grill of Peatone. You can find them on Facebook at Fire Pit Bar or on their website at firepitbar.com. For our adult listeners out there, if you happen to be in the area on July 23rd, head on out and catch the band Stevie Starlight. I haven't had an opportunity yet to go check out this band. I hear they do some vintage music, and they do have a website, steviestarlight.com, so you can check them out before you head on down here.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Stevie Starlight.
Yeah, but it's light as in L-I-T-E, not L-I-G-H-T.
Oh.
Sounds
Stevie
familiar.
Starlight.
Yeah, I know they played up there, I want to say it was like last fall. I didn't have an opportunity to get up there, but who knows? Hopefully I get the free time July 23rd when they're up there playing.
I think I'm thinking of Stevens Point, Wisconsin, and a Starlight ballroom that closed down. That's what I'm thinking of.
Okay. I figured you could go with Stevie Nicks, but yeah, there's that too.
I don't even know who that is.
The singer from, Fleetwood Mac.
Thank you.
There we go. I almost said Jefferson Airplane, but that wasn't right. How was everyone's weekend? Happy belated
It was
4th of
good.
July.
It was good. I got all my class assignments done, so I'm happy.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what I should have done.
Well, I have 2 more assignments due. Actually, midterms due on Sunday. So
Wow.
having fun with that one.
Nice, nice. We went down to my wife's family's house and hung out, drank some beers, ate some good food, had like 12 cups of coffee.
You didn't eat great food?
Oh, no, it was amazing food. Sorry. No, I'm a master of understatement. So, but yeah, no, it was a good time. Only bummer, we blew a tire on the way down.
Oh.
So I had to change that on the side of the road, and that was fun. And so then we had to get that fixed this morning. So we were supposed to be back in Chicago last night. We didn't get back until this afternoon. And we found out there is loads more wrong with the car because of it. So that's neat. It's actually really good because we're about to take about a trip out to where my internship is, and it would really suck if we found all these issues out in Pennsylvania instead of
Yeah.
Indiana. So,
Yeah, definitely.
but yeah, it was good. Good weekend. Got to hang out with dogs on every day of the weekend this weekend. So, good stuff.
Yeah, Joey, it was awesome seeing you on Saturday.
Yeah, it was a great time, man.
Yeah.
S'mores.
Didn't go to bed till 5 in the morning.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, last of the guests took off around 4-ish.
Fantastic.
I think by the end of the night I went through I want to say about 14 Bud Lights.
Wow.
And about 6 s'mores. And
Only 6?
Yeah, we finished off that apple pie shots and the cherry pie shots, so that was fun too.
Nice.
Both bottles of cherry pie?
No, we got like a third of one of the bottles left, so I'm gonna have to make a trip up to Wisconsin and grab another bottle of it
Oh, at the Cheese Castle.
at Mars Cheese Castle.
Oh, I think we should do that this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, we're not doing it this weekend.
Oh, well, that's depressing.
Maybe if they sponsor us, we'll go up there this weekend.
We can ask them if they want us.
You figure out, you contact them, you figure out if they want to be a sponsor of this freaking show. And we'll talk about cheese. We'll make an entire episode of cheese.
Oh my god, it would be amazing.
Cheese.
I would love to bathe in cheese.
Right?
I don't know what kind of cheese. Well, I guess not bathe in it, because that would be kind of nasty, but maybe have a mattress made out of it.
What the fuck is wrong
A
with you?
mattress made of cheese. I
You know,
dig
you
that.
should- what you should do is you get like a water bed, but you fill it with nacho cheese so it kind of forms
Oh.
to your body.
I don't like nacho cheese.
Yeah, but are you gonna eat your bed as you lay in it?
Well, if I have a cheese bed, I might.
Ugh, God, your hair's gonna be in it.
Well, I'll wear special clothes. You know how like there's pajamas? I'll wear a special anti-cheese clothes so then I can just slip around on it. That sounds so disgusting. Saying that out loud.
No kidding.
I'm glad I took you to this point to be disgusted by what you're saying. Because you lost me at bathe in it.
Yeah.
But no, this weekend was pretty good. Friday I went on a date. So
Yeah, how was that?
It was amazing. We were with each other talking and getting to know each other for 7 hours. So it was great. You know, we took her out to dinner and we sat there, we ate, we talked, told stories and everything, and it's amazing because like I could babble on and on about like my entire life, which I did. That was the majority of the evening. And I mean, she listened to all of it. I mean, like you would think like eventually she'd want to be like, we should go. But no, she listened to every story about everything. Literally, I told an entire relationship length of stories on the first date.
Wow.
I know, right? So literally nothing else to talk about for here on out.
Nice.
But it was fun. You know, we went out to dinner. We got to know each other a little bit more. She's an awesome person. I think she's gonna start listening to the podcast. So, hopefully she agreed with me. And yeah, that was
I
fun.
hope you pushed her on it as much as you could.
Wait, what?
Just every two minutes. Yeah, I have a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, as I was sitting there on This Freaking Show, which you can find at thisfreakinshow.com or
Yeah.
on iTunes. You got iTunes? You like iTunes? You listen to iTunes? You should go under, rate reviews, give us 5 stars. Like I said, I'm a host of it. No, I mentioned it a couple times. She's actually a huge Disney fan, and she was really excited when I brought up the whole Disney episode we did last week, which, by the way, if you guys didn't get a chance to check that out, definitely do. After listening to what was going on, I had to strongly encourage her to wait until after our date to listen to the podcast. So I don't know if she's listened to it or not yet. She's still talking to me, so I'm assuming she hasn't yet.
Or she really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, if she can make it through the whole dick getting cut off and shoved down a whore's mouth or whatever the fuck it was, then yeah, that's a keeper at that point. I did realize that when the date was over, I did not ask her how clean her pee was, so I did fail us on that aspect.
Oh, it's a bummer.
I know, right? I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, you know, after the date was over, I'm like, I mean, I always said if I had a first date, I would do something, and then I clicked my head, I'm like, oh, yeah. I forgot to ask how clean her pee was. So, but it's okay. I know there'll be a second one. I'm hoping there'll be a second one, knock on wood, but there's a good chance it will be.
So, today, I mean, if you guys don't know who Bo Burnham is,
Oh yeah, Bo Burnham.
Yeah,
I didn't even know he was still alive.
he shouted me out today.
No kidding?
Yes. Well,
On Twitter or in real life?
on Twitter.
Even better.
Well, this is what he tweets. His tweet says, "Shout out to all the very funny guys named Colin on here. Y'all crazy."
Nice.
So I guess it's indirectly me, but me, just because my name's Colin.
Perfect.
It's okay, Con. I'm gonna let you have that one.
You better.
Yeah.
Just like I'm gonna let you have that cherry pie.
Well, I know that wasn't named after me. I know that. I mean, if it was, it'd be covered in gold and diamonds and have a beard.
That'd be really weird to see.
A beard on a bottle.
Yeah.
No, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So tonight we're bringing back a guest from the past.
Not the past.
From the past.
How
from
far the past?
From before now. Past. Present.
Perfect.
We're in present now. It'll be past. It wouldn't be a future guest because they're happening now and previous.
Right.
Colin, you know how time works, right?
I
There's a
don't.
past, a present, and a future.
No.
Okay. Well,
Stop
past.
lying to me.
Well, from a
Past
non-linear, non-subjective point of view. Sorry, Dr. Who joke.
No, I know about the time. But what Joe definitely pointed out some amazing information today, even though I heard it like last
Yeah,
week.
you beat me to it.
I did. But why don't you tell everybody what that is, Joe?
Apparently, Anna Kendrick has expressed interest in playing Squirrel Girl, the world's most powerful superhero.
Oh, yeah.
Who?
The
Squirrel
girl from
Girl.
Pitch Perfect.
Oh,
She does
sorry.
the cups thing.
Totally missed what you were asking me.
No, I know who Squirrel Girl is. I
Mhm.
don't know actresses' names for the life of me.
Gotcha.
She does the cup song in Pitch Perfect, I believe.
I gotcha. That's awesome. I can't believe they'd actually make a Squirrel Girl movie.
I don't know that they will, but I hope they will.
Yeah.
She'd be really good at it.
Talking about movies, Jean-Claude Van Damme apparently signed on for Kickboxer Retaliation. If any of you out there are Jean-Claude Van Damme fans.
What is Kickboxer Retaliation about, exactly?
I think it's basically, from what I think I read, it was like going to be a reboot of Kickboxers.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But I could be wrong on that.
It's basically Expendables, but it's his own movie.
It's The Expendables, but his own movie?
Yeah. Yeah. It's reliving or rebooting a previous series of shows, right? Or movies that he was in, right?
Well, he was only in the first one.
Yeah.
But,
Is it gonna
The
be like
Mountain
Rocky?
is supposed to be in it.
Ooh.
And then Batista, Mike Tyson.
Batista.
Yes.
Nice.
So, for you Guardians of the Galaxy fans, or wrestling fans, I should say, he will be in it. But
Is this at all related to Kick Puncher
no,
from Community?
no.
Just wondered.
Is this anything related to Kick It Up?
No.
Damn.
That great cassette tape that you can get from... Or no, that's Cranking It Up. Sorry.
Oh shit, Joey.
You're welcome, Interstate fans.
Anyway, so I got a heads up from our guest that he's ready to come back on. We're ready to come on, not come back on, I guess. Well, I guess back on because he was on previously. Not back on today. So real quick, does anybody have anything else they want to share? Anything new? Anything exciting?
Nope.
No.
Who's our
Nothing in
guest again?
particular.
Are we going to wait till
CJ
he gets out?
Yeah, we can wait. We can
Okay.
wait. We can wait. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. It'll be fine.
While we bring him on, do we have any podcasts to promote?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's gonna be that's how we split it up. Yeah, we're always gonna promote Kaga. I think we're at the point now where we're gonna repeat promotions and everything.
Oh, fantastic.
Just because I mean like we've already done so many,
Mm-hmm.
and since it's part of the Pattern family, and actually some of the podcasts are outside the Pattern family, which are great podcasts as well. We're just gonna kind of double up and circle around, if you will. Yui back. A couple steps backwards. What other analogies are there? Turn around. We're going to shoot off a promo from History of Bad Ideas.
Perfect.
Sounds good.
So listen to this promo as we get our guests set up and ready to go.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jason.
And I'm Jeff. We're from the History of Bad Ideas podcast.
You know what you're listening to right now, Jeff?
What are we listening to right now?
This freaking show.
This freaking show?
This freaking show. And when you're not listening to this freaking show, take a listen to the History of Bad Ideas.
Where we talk about sports,
movies,
and other pop culture events happening
in the world. So take a listen. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, and any other place that you find great podcasts like This Freaking Show.
This freaking show.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, check out History of Bad Ideas podcast. I check them out weekly. They're a lot of fun to listen to, and I laugh every time I do.
Oh, good.
So ladies and gentlemen, to return back to the show to discuss his next issue, CJ Standal is back.
Thanks again for having me, guys. I had a blast last time. I'm looking forward to it again. And so again, my name is CJ Standal. I'm a writer, self-publisher of the comic Rebirth of the Gangster. It's had 2 issues released at this point. The second issue actually just released July 6th. You can get either issue for $2 separately on Amazon, or you can actually get a bundle of both issues 1 and 2 for $3, so that's 25% off. By far the best deal if you haven't checked out the series yet. But it's, again, essentially it's Othello meets Breaking Bad meets The Wire. It's about 2 sons who are kind of sucked into this life of crime. One who's already at the beginning of the series on his way there, and then the other one, the main character Marcus, starts off as this high society lawyer, and he's kind of on that like Breaking Bad-esque journey where he's slowly getting sucked into this life of crime after meeting Hunter, the other character.
Fantastic.
So hopefully that's a nice little summary.
Yeah, I think that covered it.
Yeah. Good to know.
So fill us in on how the first release, how the release of your first issue went. I mean, were you happy with the amount of people that purchased it? Were you not so happy? Where are you at with the order of the first issue?
Yeah, so I guess critically and readers, the people who have read it and reviewed it, either on just Amazon as like a regular regular reader and reviewer, or even just like critics, overwhelmingly have all loved it, have all been super positive. So I think I've been super happy with that. I've been super happy with the support of my friends and family with it. To be honest, I would like to have sold a little bit more, but I understand that I'm a pretty unknown quantity as an author, and it's the first issue, and I'm just hoping kind of, again, as the issues keep coming out and word of mouth builds, we'll get more and more readers, especially since I think I'll be able to entice more readers with like those bundle packs that are a little cheaper. So again, I think like artistically, creatively, critically, I was super happy with the first issue, and even though financially, of course, I would like a little bit more, but to be honest, again, the reason I'm self-publishing this and just kind of going for it is that I just want I want the series to get out there. I want to be able to kind of grow and have fun as a writer, have other people experience this and have a lot of fun. So if I don't make money off it, again, it's not the end of the world. I do have not a side job, my actual job, or my actual career in quotation marks as a teacher. So it's not like I'm banking on this to make money. So again, even though I'd like it to make money, it's really fulfilling the main reason I'm doing it, which is just having a lot of fun, having other entertaining people, and maybe hopefully getting people to think a little deeper too about just life and society in general. And also I've also learned a lot. I think even from the first to the second issue, I've grown as a storyteller and as a writer. One of the ways, for instance, is just I think I'm able to juggle more characters in the second issue than I was in the first. So I think it's all exciting, and hopefully just we keep going up and up. Both Juan and I, and just everybody who loves reading this, just keep getting more and more readers. So that's it. Unless you have another follow-up question on that.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I mean, we were lucky enough to kind of get a chance to look at the comic they released on the 6th. I gotta say, man, I mean they're getting better and better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the hope always, right?
Yeah. And just out of curiosity, because I mean, like, and I'll be completely honest with you, I am dumber than a box of rocks. Getting into stories isn't my strong suit, so I just need to know for my own sake, I guess. This was kind of another issue to kind of introduce a new character, right? So it kind of like it's kind of giving you a background of a completely different person.
Sorry, can you repeat that question? I think I have a sense of where you're going, but it was kind of cutting in and out a little bit.
I guess what I'm asking is like,
or if I can rephrase it, were you asking just something? If because again, you were cutting in and out, so I think I got it, but I could be wrong. We were just talking about like we're kind of shifting, I guess, focus of characters on this second issue to Hunter. In this case, is that kind of what the question's concerning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's actually kind of my plan. I guess I have for each story arc, each issue. So for each like 6-issue story arc, each issue will focus on a different main character. Even though, like as we saw in issue 2, there were probably like eight pages of that 22 pages that were solely focused to Marcus from the first issue. But I chose it that way. I guess just because I really want this to be like not just a plot-based mystery and thriller and noir. I do hope that that's strong, but I think that what gets people coming back to stories is characters. And I think that the more that I can get in depth to characters and kind of bounce around and get a wide spectrum of, I guess, different backgrounds and people that are having their stories told, hopefully that makes it more exciting for any reader in general, but also hopefully it adds like a jumping on point for readers who might have seen the cover to issue 1 and they weren't necessarily drawn to Marcus's character, but they now see the cover to issue 2 and they're maybe drawn more to that, and then they start reading and they're again like hooked a little bit stronger. So I guess part of the reason that I'm choosing to switch is that. Another reason is also just I've kind of set myself a rule of not using any like traditional narration in this comic. So anytime we have captions, it's always just dialogue that's being laid over from a scene that's happening concurrently at the same time, what you're not seeing, or that's about to happen on the next page. And so I think because of that, I really wanted to be able to. I made that choice so that I could jump around from different perspectives so that I didn't just have to have Marcus, for instance, always telling the story and only telling about events that he himself could hear. I wanted to have more of, I guess, that like omniscient, that third-person big narrator in the sense of, I guess, just like, again, almost like a camera, not that sees everything. And hopefully, again, we get into deeper into each character rather than just really, really deep into one character, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing I'm loving about these comics and everything, and it's like you give the reader enough information, but you don't give them too much.
Yep.
Like I like the endings of these, where they like I don't want to give anything away, but like a guy meets with another guy, and and it just kind of just fades from that point to where you want to know what happens next.
Right. Yep.
And you're gonna have to get the next issue in order to understand that and everything. And that's what's beautiful about it, because you're not ending the story. You're you're leaving enough to continue on, and you're leaving enough for people to be drawn in, so they would want to get that next issue. And that's how I felt like when the first one ended. When I got to the ending of the first issue, it bothered me. 'Cause I'm like, no, what happens next?
Yeah.
And I guess
that's
and you gotta sit there. You gotta
that's
wait.
the only really, I guess, negative in quotes feedback I've gotten is that people want they just want to keep reading more because of the way each of those issues end in kind of, I guess, either a cliffhanger type fashion or again just the kind of like fade out. You hear part of the conversation but not the whole conversation. But yeah, thank you for noticing that. That's actually been something I've been focusing on pretty intently. Before I actually started reading this or writing the actual comic, like the actual scripts themselves, I did write like a synopsis and stuff like that, outlines, and I shared that stuff with some of my friends. Another Travis, actually. I shared it with one of my friends who works in actually advertising and stuff like that. So it's not necessarily the same type of creative field, but I do trust his opinion very much, and he did say, like, on some of the synopsis points that I'm telling too much. That instead of telling like 100%, just tell the reader 90% or 80%. And I think that's just in general some good storytelling, because that means I have some faith in the reader. But I also think it's the type of storytelling that perfectly matches this type of thriller, noir, suspense story anyways, where we don't want to know the whole story right away. It's got to be teased out, or the whole mystery and all that stuff. It's got to be teased out in small bits, and then the reader kind of puts them all together and sees if they can guess ahead of time or not. And so I think that's part of the fun, is just as a reader being able to formulate these opinions and kind of come up with theories or what do you think is going to happen. So yeah, thank you for noticing that. I'm glad it's paying off.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I always feel like, the important way, and anything, is it cinema, if it's books or whatever it is, you always want to leave them wanting more.
Yep.
I mean, that's what keeps bringing them back to your product. That's what keeps getting you, to get them to buy the next issue and so on and so forth. So, I applaud that. I think it's great,
yep.
even though it pisses me off.
I get it. Yep.
I think it's a great way to go, because you don't want to end the story on okay, this is the end of this story, now I gotta move on to the next one. No, this one's just paused until you get so on and so forth down the line.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now this with, I know you said it, but I kind of missed it a little. How many issues were you? I mean, how exactly how does comics work as far as issues and volumes and stuff like that?
So I guess the whole series, the way I have a 5-page synopsis that's the whole plot itself, but then I also broke that down into kind of an outline for each issue. So the way I've broken down the outline is that there are 24 total issues. So there are 4 story arcs in those 24 issues. Each story arc's six issues. Granted, some of that might change. I don't think it would elongate necessarily. I think if anything, I might try to get a little more concise, like five issues for each story arc instead of 6. But that's pretty much the way it's set up. So yeah, I try to think. Yeah, kind of speaking of pausing and cliffhangers. At the end of each story arc, there's definitely going to be some resolution and stuff like that. We're not going to be paused and left wanting quite as much as we are in between issues within that story arc. There'll still be, of course, the bigger story that will kind of keep building. But again, at the end of issue 6, there's something. Issue 5 and 6, there are definitely some big things that kind of come to head and kind of close out that chapter of this story and move us on to the next one.
Okay, I got you.
That sounds fantastic.
And
Thank you.
You're working with the same illustrator as you were the previous
Yep.
book, correct?
Yeah, I am. Juan Romero. I'm working with him as long as I can hold on to him, essentially. Yeah, I mean, he's to be honest, a lot of the positive reviews have also been praising him just as much, if not more, than me. So yeah, I'm not letting him go. I just think he's perfect for the story. He's a great guy. I love working with him. We have, I think, a really good sense of collaboration. And I think the nice thing is, in the second issue, I think he felt a little more freed up to to do some things, to kind of stray from my suggestions about page layout and all that stuff. He strayed a little bit more from it, always with better results, and I think that's just something that's kind of natural about getting to know each other and know how we each work and kind of building that trust that I think we're starting to solidify that, and really it's paying off just because now he's feeling, I think, a little more ownership and feels that I trust him more, and he has that ability to experiment and try different storytelling choices that again pay off way better than my ideas were. So I think, yeah, he's awesome, and I'm again hoping that I can keep holding on to him for the rest of this series. Which there's been nothing that's indicated he's gonna go away, but that's just my anxious personality that if something's going really good, I sometimes get afraid that it's gonna be stolen from me.
Oh yeah. No, I totally understand. I mean, everyone has that slight pessimistic, thought in their head and everything. But I mean, you guys work so well together in these comics. Every illustration matches every word that you're reading, and it's perfect. I mean, it's an amazing thing. I think you guys have a great connection in what
Thank
you're doing.
Yep.
Now, when you guys come down to making comics and everything, the first one released, was it April?
It was just at the end of March. I think it was March 24th or something like that. So pretty close to April, yeah.
Okay, so you're looking at so the first one came let's say the beginning of April, and this one now it's the beginning of July. So is it going to be the same time period in between each issue, or does this one just happen to come out a little bit earlier? Or
so it's not going to be that big of a gap between issues. Really, the main reason that happened is that I was running that Kickstarter for the second issue, which took about after the first issue was released, I kind of did some last minute things the couple weeks after that to finalize the Kickstarter, and then the Kickstarter runs for a month. So essentially, we had that because of the Kickstarter, we had 2 extra months added on to kind of this to delaying this release, which was obviously very fortunate. We were successful with the Kickstarter, but it was kind of a little frustrating, to be patient and wait for us to get the money to make sure we were able to fund that second issue. So I would say in the future that time's going to be cut in half in between each issue being released. We're probably looking at 1 to 2 months in between issues. I'm working on the third script right now. I'm not running a Kickstarter, so I'm just essentially starting tomorrow. I'm going to start sending Juan some pages from that third script. So we're going to get rolling right away, and that'll help out definitely. I was a little frustrated, like I said, about the gap, but I understand it kind of had to happen in order for this to be sustainable past the second issue.
Oh yeah. And you can't rush perfection.
Right,
you want to deliver quality, not quantity to people. It's so
exactly. Yep.
So awesome. So now I'm looking at what maybe just ballparking maybe mid-September.
Yeah, I would say beginning to mid-September is what we're looking for. So about 2 months is probably the safe bet. I want to say 1 to 2, but because I'm just the optimist, but like you're saying, you don't want to rush perfection. You don't want to go quantity over quality. And I do know that, again, speaking of praising Juan, I mean, part of the reason that those pages are matched so perfectly to what the story is and the theme and all that stuff is because he really takes his time to get it right. And if we have some small things that need to be changed, we'd rather change them than just let it slide. So I understand some people could maybe be a little frustrated with a little bit of a longer wait than traditional monthly comics, traditional big publishers, but I think again it's really worth it for having a better quality product that really is strong on all levels.
We lost, I think, the last 2 sentences of that.
I just said I understand some people might be frustrated with the a little bit longer time frame for releasing each issue than the 1 month, which is traditional for big publishers and stuff like that. But again, I think it's totally worth it to wait that little extra time to add that quality over quantity to make sure we're firing on all cylinders rather than just kind of letting some small mistakes slide because we want to get it out exactly a month from the past one. So that's pretty much what I was saying.
Gotcha. Absolutely. I totally agree. Well, and the other thing that I found was it had been long enough since I'd read the first one that, gosh darn it, I had to go back and read it again.
All right. Yep. I get it.
Oh, dang.
Dang, that's such a hard thing to do. Yeah. I felt the way, I've compared a little of the inspirations of this to 100 Bullets. But that's the same way I felt with every issue of 100 Bullets, too, that I had to go back and reread the previous one, if not in my crazy, obsessive way, reread all of the previous ones. But I at least needed to reread the one right before that to kind of get back into it, which there could be worse problems, right?
Right? Well, I tell you, I enjoyed it just as much the second time around. So.
Good. Yeah, I'm hoping that's again part of I think the level of thought and quality behind it. That hopefully it's just as good, if not better, on rereading actually.
Absolutely. Well, the cool thing is that the way the second issue fleshed some parts out of Hunter's character, it helped make sense of some stuff that happened in issue 1 with his character and with Marcus and a lot of the other things that were going on. It's the picture's starting to come together.
Yep. Yeah. So again, I think it's just like a puzzle. Each issue is a couple pieces of the puzzle that the more issues you read, the more you start filling in that bigger picture, understanding not just other characters in more deep level like Hunter, but also understanding the plot, understanding what's this bigger mystery is, what this big thing propelling Hunter is, and what his plan is. All of those stuff is going to kind of keep coming together a little bit more each issue by issue, which is hopefully really exciting because it hopefully keeps drawing people back because they want to get those extra pieces. They want to keep filling in this picture.
Yeah, well, I figure I almost have to at least get to the next one because I need to find out who the bald guy is.
Who the bald guy? Yep. Yeah, we will. Yeah, he's man, I don't know. I want to talk all about it, but I don't want to spoil too much. Yeah, Yeah, he's definitely
Nah, don't.
Don't worry about it.
he's he'll show up a little bit in the third issue, but he's going to be one of those characters that's going to be a much bigger role in the end of this story, or the end of this like 6-issue story arc, at the end of the first, I guess, graphic novel, which is the Meet the Family collection, which I haven't mentioned yet. Each issue was Meet the Family with the subtitle of the character it was studying. So Meet the Family Marcus is the first issue, then Meet the Family Hunter is the second issue. So that, I think, kind of shows I think that's just showing that it's all the same story, but from different perspectives, different insights, and different pieces of the puzzle, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing I noticed is the way, because it jumps from character to character, it also seems to jump through, and I think we talked about this last time a little bit, it sort of changes time period pretty quickly as well. And the cool thing that I noticed was that having 2 issues side by side helps you sort of put the timelines together, at least for me, a little bit more easily than just having the first issue. It was like, it wasn't just a bigger picture of where the story is kind of going, it was a bigger picture of the grand narrative.
Yep.
Overall.
Thank you. Yeah, that's something I do think is it's one of the things I'm proud of, the first 2 issues, of that ability to, I think, jump around in the timeline, to kind of, again, like, reveal some of the secrets, some of this character's background, but not all of it. And I think that's something that I'm really excited about, and I'm glad that you're saying exactly what I hoped would happen, that, like, kind of having them together, it makes it a little bit easier to grasp the timeline, and also to understand kind of the purpose behind these jumps and flashbacks and flash forwards, that type of stuff. I do think the one thing, even though I love that, the flashbacks and that stuff, I do think one of the changes that I made from the first to the second issue, which kind of reflects some of my growth, is that I did try to anchor in the second issue a little bit more in the present day than the first issue had been, so that there's not quite as much flashback exposition, that if I can tell something about a character's background from the present, I focused on ways to do that a little bit more, while still, like, if I need that flashback, that's the only way I can tell this effectively, this part of this character, this plot point, I'll use a flashback. And I think that's just something, I mean, as a teacher, I always teach my students all about balance, and I think that's something I'm learning how to balance those flashbacks and jumps around in time even better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't like giving huge praise for things, because I like to be a master of understatement. It's a thing that I think I'm good at.
Yep.
However, while reading this second issue, the way that it jumped around, and the way that you told the story, the way that Juan told the story, it honestly felt very similar to watching the most recent season finale for Game of Thrones.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's great praise. I really, really appreciate it. And that's actually, I mean, so it's one of the inspirations. It's part of the inspiration behind this idea of each issue is somewhat from a different perspective, or from, like, the different perspective, focusing on a different character. Because in the books, I mean, I love both the books and the TV show, but that's the structure that George R. R. Martin chooses in the books, is that there is a point of view chapter. I mean, they don't even have chapter titles. It's just the title of the characters. And so that was something I always thought was really cool, and I thought that was one of the strengths of Game of Thrones, that it's part of the reason why some of these characters speaks to so many people. It's the reason why people love Tyrion and Jon Snow and Daenerys and all that stuff. And so, yeah, I'm very thankful. Yeah, thank you for the praise, and I'm glad, because that's part of what I was modeling it on.
Good. I'm glad it was what you're going for. Yeah, and I think Colin's got some questions for you too. But I noticed one thing I wanted to bring up before he jumps in. I really loved the transition from page 4 to page 5 with young Hunter and then older Hunter. I thought that was just tremendous. If you could pass that along to Juan, that was fantastic.
Oh, I definitely will. Yeah, I think, again, those transitions are getting even better and better. Juan's doing an even better and better job with all this stuff, and I think, yeah, those are the moments that we really do need to nail those transitions, because otherwise it could be a little jarring for readers. And so, yeah, I think that's awesome to hear that praise, and yeah, I'm glad it's working. I'll definitely pass all this stuff on to Juan.
Cool. Now, we know that you had a Kickstarter originally for Rebirth of a Gangster.
Yep.
That got successfully funded.
It did get
And
successfully funded.
I don't-
A couple hundred, like probably like $200 actually over the goal. So that was pretty cool too.
Yeah. Do you plan on continuing that way, or is is a one-time thing? And
So I'm not continuing that way with issue 3. I do think I'll go back to the Kickstarter route for actually the self-publishing a printed copy of the graphic novel when that's finally done, which will probably be about next spring. I would guess is when that first story arc will be done in next spring. So I do think I'll use that. In the meantime, I might switch to using Patreon. Is that the name of it? I haven't investigated
Yep.
it. Patreon. Haven't investigated a huge amount about it, but I've heard a lot of good stuff from other self-publishers and just people like that. And so I think that's I think for the rest of the story arc, that's going to be kind of the small thing I'll do to kind of keep it a little bit afloat. But I don't think I need to do it for an issue. I do think I need to do it, though, for the printing costs of a graphic novel, though.
Okay. For everybody that doesn't know, Patreon is a site that you can go to, and for the people that you love that have one, you can donate money to help them push forward what they love making and love doing. And as CJ just mentioned, that's the way he's going. So if you like seeing more of these books and comics, you can go support him on Patreon.
Oh yeah, thank you. It's not quite up yet, but it'll be up within a week or so.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Let us know when that goes up. We'll be sure to share it.
Yeah, I definitely will. Thank you very much.
So now you said that your comics are on Amazon.
They are on
And,
Amazon. Yep.
You could buy issue 1 and 2 together.
Yep, for $3 instead of buying them separately for $2 a piece. So yeah, $3 instead of $4 to get both issues. I think it's a great deal. It's 45 pages of comics, just because the first one was one page longer than the typical 22 pages. 45 pages of comics for $3. I think that's a great deal. And then it'll just hopefully leave you wanting more and want to come back. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's a great price.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, if you would be spending that much if you're buying a paper copy at a comic store, you'd be spending that much on one issue by itself. So, I think it's a great price.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it's the kind of thing... Actually, here's a question that just popped into my head. Sorry, I really like the idea of a printed one. I'm excited about that.
That's all good.
When you move to the printed, are you planning... Is it sort of based on how well the Kickstarter does? Maybe a stretch goal will be some things in color, some things in not. I remember last time you were on, you were talking about having the past be grayscale or black and white, and the present being in color.
Yeah,
is that something you're hoping to do with a stretch goal, or
that would definitely be a stretch goal. I think the original goal would be for just let's just print it, even if it's just in black and white, other than the covers. But yeah, that would be a great stretch goal. I hadn't thought about it in those terms yet, but that's going to be exactly what I'm going to do. So thank you. Yeah, it's a good idea. I'd thought about recoloring the present day panels, but I hadn't really thought about the game plan of Kickstarter of how I was going to do that. So thank you.
Oh yeah, no problem. So fantastic! I'm so excited. This is really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, again, I'm super excited. You guys were my first podcast in general, and you're also my first return podcast, so that's super exciting. Yeah, and hopefully we all just keep building up from here, keep going further and further.
Oh yeah.
That's the overall goal, right? Real quick, before we let you go, I just want to give everyone a quick rundown of where they can find you and everything that you do.
Yeah, sure. You can just follow me on Twitter, CJ_Standal, STANDAL. You can also go to cjstandalproductions.com. That's my official website. And CJ Productions is the name of my self-publishing imprint. You can also just friend me on Facebook, CJ Standal. I also am on I mean, I'm on Instagram as CJ Standal, but to be honest, I don't spend a whole lot of time on there, and I think I've got like 10 friends on Instagram. So I'm like, yeah, my website, Twitter, and Facebook is more my ways of communicating with fans. And also, if people were interested in emailing me, there's a link at the bottom of my website, but you would just email cjstandal@gmail.com.
Perfect. Yeah, well, obviously, we'll definitely put the link to your website and your Twitter and your Facebook in the show notes so everyone can find it a lot quicker. And
Perfect.
we could probably throw the link to Amazon as
Yeah,
well,
that'd
so
be
they
great.
can get right to Amazon and get that purchased, and they can enjoy the happiness that we have felt as well.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. By the way, there was actually one thing that I realized, some self-promoter that I realized I didn't mention, but there's actually also on Amazon. It's called First Shot, The Making of Rebirth of the Gangster. It's just like a 70-page PDF that takes the reader from the conception of the idea, which was originally in a poem, to like that became the first page of the comic, and it takes us through the synopsis, the feedback I got from friends, through some of the different layouts and script revisions that Juan and I did, and also through some of like the revisions I did based off of publisher feedback when I was submitting it to originally to publishers in the hopes that they'd publish it before I decided to self-publish. But yeah, that's a really cool. It's only a couple bucks on Amazon also, but it's a really cool 70-page. If you're interested in seeing how I made this specific comic, or just seeing like the process of any comic being made, I think I do a pretty good, clear job of walking you through that. There are some small spoilers because again, there's a synopsis, so you could skip a couple of those pages in that if you didn't want to get things ruined for you. And also, I would add that, like, as I write, things change a little bit, so that synopsis isn't going to be 100% true anyways, just because of the way the story evolves as we're going.
That's fantastic. I know what I'm buying
thank
next.
you. Awesome. Thank you. Yep.
All right. CJ, again, thank you for coming back on. It's always a pleasure having you on, and definitely when you get the third issue out, come on back.
I'll be the first to know. I really appreciate it. Just again, first podcast that I've ever done, and the first repeating podcast. So I really, really appreciate it, guys. I have a lot of fun talking to you all. So I definitely, you guys are the first ones when that third issue comes out, even before it comes out. I'm sending it to you guys.
Fantastic.
I appreciate it. CJ, you have a good night.
You
man.
too. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Take it easy, guys.
You too.
Bye.
So that was CJ Standal.
Yeah, it's always a joy talking to him.
Oh yeah.
It's easier for me to have the actual creator of the comic book explain to me a little more of the comic book because my lack of acknowledgement.
Well, otherwise it's just like telephone. You gotta the way somebody interprets something and then interpret it differently and then interpret it differently as things are getting told. So
yeah, definitely.
if you can come straight from the source, then you should be good to go, and you hear it all together. So
Yeah. Like I said, I hate how it ends, but I love how it ends at the same time. It's like, I don't want it to end that way, but it's the perfect way to end comic books because, it does. It gets you to want to buy the next one,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, that's, man. I actually sat, I had it on my iPad, and I was scrolling through it, and I got to the end of issue 2, and I tried to keep scrolling. Like, this isn't done.
you didn't want to put it down.
I'm not done with you.
I need to know what happens.
So, it was good. I would really recommend it. So, you can, like we've said several times, pick it up on Amazon. It's good stuff.
Absolutely.
Not too expensive. Get 2 issues for $3.
Yeah.
And trust me, I don't read, and I'm recommending this. That should tell you something right there. Because usually I wait for the book or the movie to come out. So
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe there'll be a web series coming out soon on this. Oh shit! Yeah. Speaking of web series, we have a web series on next week.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, actually, you know, this entire month, just this month of July, is full of incredible guests. What we got? We got the web series You Again coming on next week. Next week, me and Joey will be on a game show podcast the following day on the 12th, which is also exciting because I feel like they're going to be really excited to have us on because they think that we know a lot, and then they're going to be very disappointed
We're just
when
going to
they
be straight up
realize,
pure disappointment.
yeah, like they're going to ask me a question. I'm like, that is false. I'm like, okay, well, it's either A, B, or C. It's like, oh.
You're lying. I don't believe you. My mommy told me this.
Right. It'll be like, how many extras were they using in this scene while shooting the Deathly Hallows? And I'll be like, I don't know, but Dumbledore has a map of the London Underground in a scar on his leg.
Well, at least that's something. I would probably just say potato.
So we got the You Again podcast on next week. The following week we have a special podcast for everyone. I'm not going to share what it is. You got to tune in and check it out. But we have a very special one coming up the week of the 18th. The following week we have Leslie Tom on, the country singer from out west, who I'm excited to have on because we've been discussing that since we started back in November. So I'm excited to actually get the opportunity to have her come on. Fifth Cast, if you guys remember Fifth Cast, we plugged their podcast a couple of times. One of the hosts of Fifth Cast wants to come on our show again. Apparently, we seem pretty cool to him, which I'm not gonna lie to you, and you guys are probably gonna think like, you know, I should have like, you know, probably been more adult. But like when he messaged me and I read that message, I swear to God, I wet myself like a teenage girl at a Bieber concert. Because I was like, holy shit, he wants to be on our podcast. Like I just got really excited because I see Fifth Cast as like as a stepping stone, but like the next pillar of podcasting where I would like us to be.
Okay.
Fantastic.
So yeah, so they we're hoping to get them on in August. Clint wants to come back on, which obviously we're gonna bring Clint back on because I fucking love Clint.
Oh, well, I had fun. That was a lot of fun last week.
Yeah, Clint is the man. So there's so much going on this summer. It's truly the summer of this freaking show.
Absolutely.
Colin, what is your week freak?
My week freak. Wait, what?
Joey, what is your week freak?
It's honestly probably Rebirth of a Gangster.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Until I remembered that we were having him today, and until I read it, I was freaking out about having to fix my wife's car. But then I read this book, and it made everything better. So it's the thing I'm definitely freaking out about this week.
Okay.
How about you, Travis?
I finally got into Orange is the New Black.
Nice.
I've been hearing people talk about it for God knows how long. Well, I guess since it's been on. Was it 2012 it came out?
I think this is season 4. I don't.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I never really, like, I thought to myself, like, you know, there's no way this is as good as everyone says it is. And yeah, actually, you know what? It is. And it's not because, you know, most of the women are naked and, you know, having what they're doing with each other. I mean, that's
Biblical relations.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's the story itself, which is pretty awesome. I also didn't know it was based off a book. I had no idea.
Yeah, wait, what? Sorry. Yes, it was. Yeah, I forgot about that too, and it took me a second for that to sink in and for me to remember that.
It's not based on a book.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah, and I believe the author's name is Piper.
I believe that's correct.
Yeah. So I'm on that. I'm actually I got the season finale of season 2 that I got the next one in my in order of what to watch. So I gotta check that out. It's an hour and a half, so I haven't really like committed to sitting down and watching it yet. Because by the time I can sit down and watch it, it's already late as it is.
Well,
so
you got that for tomorrow then.
Yeah, maybe or tonight.
I think Monk is in order for tonight.
Yeah, still watching Monk. So it's so yeah, I mean that's what I did all weekend, you know, besides the drinking and going on a date and the family barbecue and everything. Other than that stuff, I pretty much been doing that since last Friday or Saturday. So, and that's what I like on Netflix. Like they give you the entire season at once, and it's like 13 episodes. I mean, granted, it sucks because you gotta wait 6-8 months, whatever it is, for the next season to come out. So you're only stuck with 13 episodes. But at the same time, you're not sitting there like. You're not sitting there waiting until next week for the next episode to come out, and next week for the next one, and so on and so forth. So. I just like the fact that Netflix is able to be, as explicit as they want to without any worry.
Yeah, I definitely like that too.
That's one of my favorite things about Netflix.
Yeah.
I hate the stupid bullshit censorship of things on TV.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was put there for a reason, but then you're blocking it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is stupid because it's not you act like people don't know what it is. So,
yeah, so
that's my opinion.
No, absolutely. I mean, at least with FX and everything, they kind of pushed the envelope a little. USA I saw has been doing a little bit more too. But I mean, at the same time, it's nice to get that, that R rating, sometimes that unrated rating, when it comes to some of the stuff you see on certain shows on Netflix. It's nice change of pace, and people can be open and honest, because how often do you get in a fight with somebody and they're like, "You mother clucker"? It's like that doesn't fucking happen.
No.
So it's nice for them actually being able to say the F word, and when two girls are going at it actually looks like they're going at it, not pressing up against each other.
Yeah.
Right.
It's fucking weird. But no, that's my week freak is Orange is the New Black.
Fantastic.
Colin, what's your week freak?
Now that I actually, thought about it, that does sound right. I was just thinking of it backwards. Sorry. I found out they have a tropical smoothie cafe in Illinois. I'm so stoked.
Where is it?
Apparently on Route 30 and shit. What road is that? It's down Route 30. I forgot the intersection, but it's
down Route 30.
It's before New Lenox, so.
So Mokina?
Possibly, I don't know. It's a major road, I think. And I can't think of it.
Or is LaGrange?
I think it's LaGrange.
All right, so it's over by Mariana.
Possibly.
Yeah, for those of you, we're talking about Frankfurt, Illinois at this point.
Yeah, what other?
Germany?
Yeah, well, we could be talking about Germany.
We're talking about Frankfurt, Illinois and Germany.
Yes.
Perfect.
Frankfurt, Illinois, which is in Germany.
We're not going to promote a band this weekend, or this week, that is. We're going to save that till next week. Joey.
Yes.
Every week, our listeners could catch Geek Cast Joe here at this freaking show. But where can they find you on Saturdays?
On Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, you can find me over at the Geek Cast Live Podcast at geekcastlivepodcast.com/podcast. Or if you think that URL is horrible and long, you can just type in gcl.ninja and hit enter in your favorite browser. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and iTunes by searching Geek Cast Live.
Perfect. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you go to thisfreakinshow.com, you're going to find links to our podcast on Podbean and Stitcher. You can find a list of our guests that we've had on, like we had CJ Standal on this week, and like we will next week, so on and so forth, until we get tired of guests, which are never going to happen because I love talking to people. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram just by searching This Freakin' Show. If you're an iPhone user, an iPod user, an iPad user, or you just like Apple, shit in general, that's about it, right? iPad, iPod, iPhone. Yeah. Is that it? Perfect.
The Apple TV.
Yeah. So if you like any of that, non-Android garbage, hit us up on iTunes and leave us a 5-star review because those are what help us become a bigger podcast than what we are now. As always, I am Travesty.
I'm Awkward Colin.
And I'm Geek Cast Joe.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of this freaking show. I'm out.